Jeffrey Epstein survivors and a group of Senate Democrats are asking for an independent review of the Epstein case files. That's because they want to know if any of the records have been tampered with ahead of their release next week. CBS News Justice reporter Jake Rosen is live in Washington, D.C. for us today. Jake, what more can you tell us about this?
Well, December 19th, Mugo, is the day, a week from tomorrow, when the Justice Department, according to this bill that President Trump signed before the Thanksgiving break, to force the Justice Department to take any additional steps it need to take to bring out to light new documents pertaining to the multiple investigations into Jeffrey Epstein and also his co-conspirator and friend Ghislaine Maxwell. At the same time, these groups of survivors of Jeffrey Epstein and Maxwell's crimes, and as well as Senate Democrats, are asking the Justice Department Inspector General, an independent body that oversees the Justice Department, issues independent reports, to review whatever is going to be published. And it has to be in some kind of searchable form, so our viewers at home and reporters and anybody else who wants to take a look at it can look through these tens, if not hundreds of thousands of pages of court documents, evidence, filings, in addition to potentially witness interviews. All, victims' names will obviously be redacted, but at the same time, they want to make sure that there aren't additional steps that potentially the Justice Department has not already taken to either conceal information or potentially just leave things out, potentially find a missing page number or something along those lines. As we know, there's been so much pressure on this space in the Justice Department. The Justice Department has successfully moved to have 3 federal judges just in the last week to release a lot of information from these criminal trials, things that would not usually become public, like grand jury evidence, grand jury witness interviews, in addition to thousands of pages of, quote, voluminous reports, as one judge put it. We'll see how this unfolds, but it does cast doubt on what we're going to see because we just don't quite know yet. Some information, judges who have reviewed this information said, is not going to bring anything to light that we don't already know. However, there are a lot of potential witness interviews or unindicted co-conspirator interviews that we just don't know if they exist, and what they would say about Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's actions. That is what they want to make sure is not tampered with, so that the public can get a full view of what is in the Justice Department's hands relating to these investigations.
Okay, and you have some information about breaking news involving Kilmar Abrego Garcia. He's the man who was mistakenly deported to El Salvador earlier this year. A judge just ordered his release from ICE custody. Do we know what led up to that?
Yeah, we do, and it's been months of this back and forth since March, when Abrego Garcia was removed from the United States as part of those flights to a country, his home country of El Salvador, in that CCOT prison. The Justice Department brought him back in May to prosecute him for allegedly smuggling illegal immigrants from Mexico or Latin America into the United States, into Tennessee, where he was criminally charged. The Justice Department is trying to prosecute him there, while at the same time, the Department of Homeland Security in court is attempting to potentially remove him. And for months, Mugo, they named 4 different countries that they were aiming to remove him to. Meanwhile, at the same time, Abrego Garcia's attorney said that they had come to an agreement with the country of Costa Rica, which has said that they'd be willing to take Abrego Garcia out of the United States, give him asylum in Costa Rica, and the Justice Department simply just rejected all of those arguments. They said that the only countries that they could potentially bring him to were the ones that they had issued. All of them were in Africa, which is obviously not where he's from. He would not know any of the language and would not be necessarily given the same reassurances of safety. You can see on the screen that the Judge Paula Zinnes said, because respondents have no statutory authority to remove Abrego Garcia to a third country absent a removal order, his removal cannot be considered reasonably foreseeable. This was the big thing at hand here. While his criminal trial is set to play out in Tennessee in next month, late next month, at the same time, the Justice Department and ICE had been keeping him in detention because they had been saying that his deportation was imminent. It was going to happen soon. Well, this judge found that there was no final order of removal, meaning that they could not remove him in the first place, which is why he ended up in court back in March challenging his removal to El Salvador. But at the same time, this judge said that the Justice Department had repeatedly lied or misled her court by saying repeatedly 4 different times that they were going to remove him to a country. Meanwhile, they were never actually intending to do that. They just wanted to give a reason to keep him in detention, which he is now obviously released out of, and he was being detained in an ICE detention center in Pennsylvania.